Hey, good morning. Hello, dear academics, ex-academics, alt-acs, basically anyone teaching or doing research in a higher education setting or a research institution or a spin-off. Nowadays, we have all kinds of things, but you already know who you are, right? I'm Özgün Ünver from Mind Your Own Revisions, and I'm a burnout and well-being coach for academics. And today is day 6 of the 30 days, 30 tips challenge that I started to give you more tools to improve your well-being as an academic, as well as prevent and overcome burnout in academia. So today's tip is all about becoming more resilient. Well, let's define resiliency for a moment. I have a very simple definition for that. Resilience is our capacity to bounce back. It's bounce back ability. So whatever happens in our lives, our ability to stand up again and get on with our lives. And resilience is not a binary state. It's not like you're either resilient or not resilient. It is on a spectrum. Resilience is on a spectrum. And that's why we talk about becoming more resilient and not about becoming resilient as if you don't have any resilience at all. And secondly, let's take a moment to talk about the importance of resilience, right? Resilience is important because the more resilient you are, the less chance there is that you'll end up in a burnout, among other things, and or that you'll go very far in burnout, let's say. Even if you end up in burnout, which can happen to anybody, you don't go too far in it that it becomes like really dangerous for your life. So, and going further in burnout means also that the amount and duration of misery you'll experience also gets longer. So developing resilience is always a good idea wherever you are on the spectrum, wherever you are in your life, whatever life event happens to you. So it is a broader topic than only burnout prevention and recovery. So in my practice, I focus on 3 pillars of resilience and guide my clients through these 3 pillars. And these are feeling your feelings, managing your mind, and increasing your capacity. So what do I mean by these? Well, let's start with the first pillar, feeling your feelings. This one is absolutely essential and often the first thing we need to learn if we end up in a burnout. The reason for this is that if we were feeling and acknowledging our feelings and taking them into account in the first place, we would probably stop somewhere before the point of burnout. We would do something about the situation before we end up in burnout. So in other words, many people ignore, avoid, or try to override their feelings. And this is why daring to feel whatever comes up in your body and your mind is so important. Second pillar is managing your mind. And it refers to our ability to distinguish fact from fiction. Well, I know that as an academic, you are trained to follow reason and logic and focus on facts and evidence, but hear me, just this once about this. Most of us believe everything that we think, especially about ourselves. And we are extremely biased towards taking certain kinds of evidence into account over others. And most of my clients come to me and say, my research is rubbish. well, they don't have objective evidence to show for it. Or they say stuff like, I should do X and Y and Z. Well, it's them that's shoulding themselves, right? So you need to be really more alert when it comes to believing everything that you think. Mind you, I'm only talking about objective facts here and not subjective rubbish. Your supervisor telling you that your work is rubbish is not a fact either. It is their subjective story. It is their fiction as well. So what we do in this pillar is especially separate fact from fiction and choose what we want to believe in, because we have a choice there. And the third pillar is increasing your capacity, basically your capacity to endure stress. One of the problems we have is that we compartmentalize most areas of our lives and label burnout as a mental health related issue. Well, no, burnout is a syndrome that has characteristics across your physical, mental, emotional health. And this is why we need to work at all these levels to really overcome burnout and to prevent burnout. So at this stage, working at the level of nervous system is very important, because by definition, burnout is a syndrome that lies at the intersection of super high activation of our both sympathetic nervous system and our dorsal vagal parasympathetic nervous system. At the stage of burnout, our bodies are in survival mode, but also extremely confused and scared. Like, should I run from it? Should I give in? Should I try to fight it? Or should I prepare for my death? Like, those are the physiological stuff that's going on in your body at the stage where you really end up in a burnout. So now these pillars are not steps that you take one after the other. We start focusing on all of these three pillars at the same time. So they're not hierarchical or consecutive, but simultaneous. So to recap, resilience has multiple layers, and we become more resilient by recovering our physical, emotional, and mental health simultaneously, by feeling our feelings, by managing our minds, and by increasing our capacity to take on and to bounce back from whatever stressors that come to us. There you go. This was your tip of the day. It was a more theoretical one. If you are serious about preventing or overcoming burnout as an academic, I would love to invite you to my 4-week online course, Bounce Back from Burnout, which will start again at the end of January. The 4-week online course has also group coaching aspect to it, and this time it is for free. Probably this is the last time I will run this program for free, but I'm going to do it again to both support academics all around the world suffering from burnout, especially in relation to COVID, and also to collect more evidence that the program works. So if you want to come, help me out and test the program and also get amazing results for yourself in terms of burnout prevention and recovery, come join us. How do you do that? Go to my website, mindyourownrevisions.com/BBFB. And there you can apply for the next round of Bounce Back from Burnout for free. See you tomorrow for another tip. Until then, have a great day. Bye.